gentlemen, I would like to make the thing that hosts around the world never do. I now do.
I'm sorry, so sorry that I was such a...
I should not have been critical.
I did know
That woman's tears
love the breeze.
at having been fooled by a horrible practical joker. Of all places, New York City.
You tell me mistakes are part of what I don't like.
You know what I still can't, you know what I still can't get over? Clean, not in the job description.
Sorry. So sorry.
Yes, you have to do that when you're seeking applicants in New York.
My apologies. But I was blind. And I was too blind.
Okay, that's it. That's it. We've officially extended our apology. Hey, you know what? I wonder if we have, let me find the story here. We might have her name. Her name may be in here. Let's see. Nope, no. Do you think we could put somebody on this, find out who this was, and maybe send some kindnesses to her? Here's Glen Ridge, New Jersey, and Virginia. Hi, Virginia. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Rush. How are you?
Fine, thanks much.
Good. My husband, Stuart, wants me to say Mego Dittos from Glen Ridge. But the reason I'm calling is to tell you that I think Slick Willie and the Democrats, their actions basically show us that we are basically brainless people who don't know what's good for us. And the reason I say that is that after they told us to go ahead and call our elected representatives and tell them what we think, I was very persistent and able to get through to Senator Bradley's office.
You know, that's a good point. I had forgotten to make that connection. Here they were asking people to call and support, and it didn't happen, and they said, oh, well, hell with it anyway.
Yeah, that, and when I called them and I said, and I told them Senator Lautenberg is going to vote against this bill, they said, well, that's because he's up for re-election, so he's got to pay attention to what you think. The rest of us don't.
Who said that?
Senator Bradley's office. And so then I persisted.
Hey, wait a second. Somebody in Senator Bradley's office really said he's got to pay attention to what you think, the rest of us don't.
Yeah, it said,
no, I just...
Listen, it says, I wrote it down right after he said it, because the receptionist said that Senator Bradley has to listen, Senator Lautenberg has to listen to the people because he is up for re-election.
Was that all that was said? Nobody said that Senator Bradley doesn't have to.
No, what I basically said is I wanted to let them know what I think, and they said, well, it doesn't matter, it doesn't count, he's not going to change his mind.
All right, that's different.
Okay.
Now, that's different. Now, we got to be, because I know Senator Bradley now. He's a Democrat, but in fact, I was at dinner the other night here in New York, and I ran into him. He came up, we had a little nice chat. I went to school with his cousin, high school. And Senator Bradley may be wrong on a lot of things, but he wouldn't say, nor would we have his staff say something. No, but I don't know anybody who would be so...
No, you know what, though? You guys are very nice when I called your show. I called yesterday and I called again today. And they're totally different. They really don't, they didn't even take my name, my address, my number.
Yeah.
They basically...
Well, I can understand that, but I don't think they would sit there and say, well, Lautenberg has to listen to
That's what they said.
the election, but we don't.
That's what they said. And when I got through in Washington, his aide said, told me that, well, Senator Bradley doesn't agree with this part of the bill. Senator Bradley doesn't agree with that part of the bill.
Let me tell you a dirty little secret, Virginia. There are maybe 20 Democrats out of, 300 and some odd that agree with this bill. The rest of them are quaking in their boots. Nobody agrees. They had two options. One, torpedo the presidency, or B, torpedo the economy. They chose to torpedo the economy.
But if we're the customers of the government, don't we deserve better than that?
These guys are under pressures to be loyal to their president. They feel that They feel they're going to have an ineffective. You don't understand, I think, maybe how these guys viewed this, the Democrats. You've got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, just how in shock these guys have to be. They figured they won the election. They don't care that 43% is not a majority. They figure that the election's over, that there was an actual appreciation for whatever it was Clinton wanted to do. Congress finally has a Democratic president. They envisioned, the Democrats, just a steady 4 years of power without obstacles. These people were salivating like Lon Chaney before turning into the werewolf. They were just so excited and so eager. The Republicans didn't matter. Let me tell you something about this nonpartisanship stuff. It was Vice President Gore who came up with the notion to leave the Republicans out of this whole plan. It was Gore working with Mitchell. These are the partisan guys. But Gore was right in there on this, and he's sitting there standing back, you know, smiling vacantly. But he was right in the thick of this partisanship stuff. It was he and Mitchell who wanted the Republicans nowhere near this. And now it's all fallen apart on them. Nobody wants what they want. Nobody supports what they're doing. The jig's up for these guys, for most of them. The bloom's off the rose. The truth of the lie that has been liberalism is more and more apparent every day, and they're just squeaking by. And they got a weak president. Now, in Congress, that's going to make them happy because they think they can roll the guy and so forth. But I guarantee you, this is not going as it was supposed to go. Gridlock was supposed to be over, and we were supposed to be headed down the road to massive acquisitions of power by these Democrats in Congress. And it's just not as smooth as it appeared it was going to be. And so they're angry, and they're bitter. And who are they mad at, Virginia? They're mad at you. They're mad at the voter because you're so stupid you don't get how good they are and how right they are and how just they are. You don't understand how superior to you they are. They can't stand the fact that you do not get down on hand and knees and kiss their feet as they walk by. And so that's why they behave that way to you on the phone.
Yeah, so
I'm telling you, psychologically, these people are devastated. Folks, it was just not supposed to be this way.
I guess my question is, though, is then when I vote for them, it means I'm brainless. Do what's best for me instead of I send you to represent me and I trust you.
I hate to be cynical about it, but yeah, when you vote for these guys, some of them say, fool them again. Some of them say, boy, have I got these people wrapped around my little finger. They get involved in the bank scandal, they get involved in the post office, they get involved in all this other stuff, and they win re-election. So what should I worry about? Well, it just adds more and more to the arrogance and the condescension. When there's no penalty for any of this stuff that they do that A, nobody wants, or B, that's illegal, what the hell is their motivation to stop it?
Yeah. I'd like to
Why do they get mad when, you know, if you think back to the House Bank, what were they mad at? That we found out and we're not smart enough to understand it. Why this is tradition in the House. Why this goes, remember their defense? Why hell, this goes back to the 1800s. Don't get on our case. We've just been practicing tradition here in the House. I mean, it was incredible, the arrogance that these people exuded. And the anger was that you found out and you didn't have enough intelligence to know what you had found out. And so they had to explain it to you, and then they had to close their post office. Oh, damn, now look what they've done. Now we have to close down our post office and stuff. I really do think the House of Representatives is, and I know this makes them mad when I say this. By the way, I got a note on CompuServe. Somebody was listening to KFYI out in Phoenix, our EIB affiliate, and Senator DeConcini was on. And was asked about me. He said, well, he's all right, but he said, I don't like it when he calls us SOBs and whatever. I didn't call I've never called these guys SOBs. There was one other name, I can't remember what it was. He thought that I called SOBs and something else, but I never would say that about these guys in that kind of pejorative way. So they sit there and they hear about what Limbaugh says about them, and they get all out of whack. And I'm telling you, it's only because the jig's up.
I hope so.
No, it is. Just give it time. And I look, I credit this to a more informed public. SOBs and criminals. Well, now I may have said that because some of these guys have done criminal things, have been thrown out. But I have never said that they all are. I have never said that everybody in Congress is a criminal. But, you know, that kind of thing spreads and the notion gets around. Limbaugh thinks everybody in Congress is bad guy. And I'll tell you what I have said, and I want to be very, very clear about this. I have said that the House of Representatives may be the most corrupt institution in the country, in our government. I didn't say the individual members are. It's possible you can have great individuals. You can have highly disciplined individuals who go there and get caught up in it in the way it's always done. And especially new members who don't know how the system really works, I'm not going to sit here and name names and say that person's a criminal and this is that and that, because I understand clearly how the law works in this country and presumption of innocence. But as an institution, the way it runs, 40 years of one-party control. Look at the rules that this House comes up with to prevent debate on certain issues. There are certain, there's a scandal brewing right now that's hot, hot, hot. And there's a new congressman, a new member of the House of Representatives who's trying to get this thing out in the open. And I'm not up to speed on it enough here to even speculate what it is. But in much detail, but and I know what it is. It's a way that members of Congress are able to hide in a drawer in the Speaker's office the terms of a particular issue that's being debated and passed and voted on and so forth, sometimes without the public even know it's going on. And what this guy wants to do is bring this out in the open. It's called a discharge petition, and it's a policy. The rules are set up. Have been set up to, in order to get one of these petitions discharged and made public, you have to get 218 signatures. A simple majority of House members, and this congressman has threatened to go to the Wall Street Journal and publish the names of those who refuse to make these things public. And the Wall Street Journal's agreed to publish their names. So I think last count, there was 208 signatures on this one. Look, I said I wasn't going to talk about it, and I have. I don't know enough about this yet, but in a general sense, I think that there are more and more people becoming more and more informed about the way their government actually works as opposed to the way people want them to think it works and the way they're taught that it works. And so they're a little angry and the attention being paid, and that's why those inside the Beltway are upset with all this attention. Wow, this is a threat to democracy. These people don't even really know what they're getting worked up about. They're just having their emotions fanned by a bunch of people who themselves are ignorant and just a bunch of hot air. Don't know what's going on. And the only reason they're upset, people wouldn't be upset if the truth weren't being discovered. We'll take a break and be back.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Everywhere I go, people are constantly offering me Snapple. Rush, have a Snapple. Here, have a Snapple. I was in San Francisco, of course, not long ago, and they had Snapple. Made a special trip to go out and get Snapple for me because they know... Stop the tape! Stop the tape! Folks, guess what happened to me? Many good things, but among them I arrived home from my vacation and there was a huge shipment from the Snapple guys waiting for me at my fashionable Upper West Side pad. And guess what was part of the shipment? The brand new Diet Peach-flavored iced tea. Oh, I've loved the peach-flavored iced tea, but it hasn't been sugar-free up until now. So I took that case up there, I poured some on ice as I am wont to do. It crackled and I tasted it. It is delicious.
You cannot find a better beverage, a more satisfying beverage than Snapple. Any flavor, iced tea or their soda pop, Snapple, made from the best stuff on earth.
Want to know a secret? There's a place in Goldsboro where you can get extra savings on Buick cars every day. Not just for a limited time, but all the time. At Courtesy Buick in Goldsboro, you can buy a Buick for less. If you want to save money on a new Buick car, go to Courtesy Buick in Goldsboro. If you didn't buy your new Buick from Courtesy Buick in Goldsboro, you probably paid too much. If you live in Wayne County and are looking for a new Buick, you better go to Courtesy Buick in Goldsboro, or you'll probably pay too much. If you don't live in Wayne County, but you can hear my voice, you better go to Courtesy Buick in Goldsboro, because no one sells new Buick cars for less. Courtesy Buick in Goldsboro sells new Buick cars for less. Remember, Courtesy Buick in Goldsboro sells new Buick cars for less. Want to know a secret? Courtesy Buick in Goldsboro sells new Buick cars for less.
Auto defects endanger you and others on the roadway. Before you go on vacation, check your car thoroughly. Inspect the tires, fluid levels, wipers, brakes, cooling system, belts, and all safety equipment before you leave. This is State Trooper Jeff Winstead along with WGBR wishing you a safe summer.
Wayne County's news and Limbaugh leader, 1150 WGBR, Goldsboro's very own.
I never used to holler. I was always in control, you know, the strong, silent type. Then we started having kids. 7 years later, I can make the walls vibrate. What is it about kids? I don't like it, but I can't find another way to make them listen.
Kids need love expressed at low decibels. Maybe then they'll hear. From the Mennonite churches. For more information, call 1-800-999-3534. That's 1-800-999-3534.
With more broadcast excellence as executed by me, the Doctor of Democracy. Rush Limbaugh here on the EIB Network. Mike, Minneapolis, glad you waited. Welcome to our program.
Hi, Rush. Dittos from the state where nothing is allowed. We've got a lot of...
How can that be? It's a liberal state where everything's allowed.
Oh, we've got an overabundance of concerned Democrats up here who just want to make sure that nobody hurts anybody else or says anything that's not nice. But
by the way, you just reminded me of something that I was going to mention last week and I didn't. Carol Mosley Braun proclaimed that there is a right that everybody has to protect them against being offended. Insulted. There's a right to protection from insult. She asserted it in connection with a little tete-a-tete she had with Jesse Helms.
Oh, the elevator story.
Yeah, that was the conclusion of the elevator story.
Okay. Listen, I wanted to get to my point, which is that these people, Clinton needs to take a look at the record given the U.S. versus Europe. And that record is quite simple. The U.S. created something like 18 million jobs, okay, during the Reagan-Bush era, while in Europe virtually zero were created. And as a matter of fact, if you were to take into account the jobs lost in the Eastern Bloc nations after the wall came down, they had a net decrease in jobs.
Very interesting.
But these are simple facts, and in fact, in the late '80s, the European leaders openly expressed amazement at the success of the U.S. economy, and it had to do with tax policy.
But you know what they're doing now? These people in Western Europe, I'm going to tell you something. You people, if you want to follow, this is my theory, based on some intelligent conversation I've had with people who know a lot more than I do. If you want to follow future economic trends in Europe, watch the Bundesbank. The Bundesbank, it is felt, is going to do whatever it can to attack the dollar. He who has the strongest currency rules. And the Bundesbank is working on building up the mark against all of the currencies. And they've done a good job of not destroying, but they've wreaked havoc with the French franc. And these people are sitting over there, and they're loving the direction we're going. They can't believe it. They're looking and seeing what's happened to them, and they're saying, gee whiz, here's a guy who's going to try to give away the store in America, too. How did this happen? They didn't expect it to happen. Now it has. And they're sitting over there, they're laughing. This is the greatest thing could ever happen for the U.S. economy to go in the tank. Remember, our economy, still compared to the world economies, is still robust and strong. Japan's in a tank. Germany is in the tank big time and never did really have a robust 80s, contrary to what Ross Perot has to say about it. France is going through the dregs. Britain, of course, is just about ready to get rid of everybody running anything over there. And our situation is bad, too, but it's much stronger than anywhere else. And the best thing that can happen is these guys see our economies go south if they can revive theirs. So, and they love the notion of Clinton doing what he's doing based on their own experiences. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Mike, I'm glad you called. Thanks so much. Ooh, look, at the time is it's just zipping by. We'll be back after this.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Here's good news for bikers, runners, joggers, and walkers. Now you can learn a foreign language while you're exercising. Order National Dynamic speed tapes today, and we'll give you a portable audio cassette player with headphones free. Do you run 3 miles a day? In 30 days or 90 miles, you can learn Spanish, French, German, Italian, or Japanese. For a sound mind and a sound body, call 1-800-545-1985. Get your free cassette player and learn the foreign language of your choice. 1-800-545-1985.
Is your car hard to start? When you accelerate, does your car hesitate? Notice the loss in power? If you said yes, maybe it's dirty fuel injectors and time for STP Super Concentrated Fuel Injector Cleaner. One treatment helps unclog dirty injectors fast to restore power and performance for up to 2,500 miles. So use STP or just keep going the way you've been going. STP. Drive a better car.
Maybe you've been asking yourself what all the hubbub is about Wachovia personal banking. Okay, well, maybe not. But just so you know, personal banking won't give you 8 days in every week and won't change your name to Rockefeller, Rothschild, or Vanderbilt. However, Wachovia personal banking will give you a lot of things that make banking easier. Like a Wachovia personal banker, for example. Somebody who knows you, somebody you can talk to about what you need from the bank and what the bank can do for you. Of course, there's also customer service desks, banking cards, banking by phone, ATMs all over the place. Everything designed to make getting to your money easy and getting to our money just as easy. Maybe that's what all the hubbub's about. Wachovia personal banking. It's a welcome change. Member FDIC.
Waynesboro Furniture in downtown Goldsboro has a full line of quality furniture awaiting your choice. Be it living room, dining room, or bedroom furnishings you need, or maybe it's lamps, chairs, or accessories you're looking for, or perhaps even a good night's sleep. You'll find that too with mattresses at the lowest prices in town with lifetime warranties to protect your investment. For bedding and the furniture of your choice, buy there, pay there, save there. Waynesboro Furniture, North Center Street, downtown Goldsboro.
This is State Trooper Terrence Hart, stationed in Wayne County. WGBR and the Highway Patrol remind you that seat belts and child safety seats save lives and prevent injuries. That's why it's so important to buckle up the little ones every time you take them out in the car. And remember, seat belts save grown-up lives too.
The most beautiful towns in America, Orlando, Florida, and Al. Line's Al on. Al's 13. Hello, Al. Welcome to the program.
Yes, negative dittos. The land of low-wage jobs and Mickey the Exploiter.
Whoa, hold it. Just low-wage jobs and Mickey the Exploiter?
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse?
Yes.
Walt Disney?
Disneyland, as in Walt Disney World,
Yeah, all right, I just want to make sure the audience understood you. That's exploitation.
I must disagree with you about the Reagan record. I think your reading of the Reagan record is truly bizarre.
Yeah.
I must say that I think that under Reagan and Bush that we have de-industrialized the country.
Hold on. Don't put Bush in with this. This is a mistake. The first mistake you're making. Well,
Bush didn't do anything.
Bush did nothing that was representative of Reagan in those 8 years at all, and that's why he was in trouble. He tried going along with Democrats, and look what happened to him.
Actually, I blame Reagan more than I do Bush. He allowed this type of free trade at any price policy, which allowed us to trade with countries that had slave labor, child labor, or that paid its workers 50 cents an hour. I don't see how that had benefited us. It has turned us into an area where we just don't make anything anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where you stand, but I could tell you that I believe that the Carter years were almost heaven compared to the Reagan year.
Well, so you would be one of these guys. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Did you actually just say that the Carter years were better economic years than for the average American, the Carter years are better than the Reagan years?
Okay, well, briefly, I think that my dad's first house he bought in the mid-'70s for about $25,000. That same house today is well over $200,000.
Thanks in large part to the inflation. No, it's the inflation that went up during the Carter
years. Have wages gone up 20 times since then?
Of course not.
Well, everything else has gone up, too.
Well, so when Ronald Reagan said in 1980, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago, you said yes?
Well, there has been some school of thought that said that most people that had voted for Reagan didn't actually support his policies.
Oh, see, that's the biggest mistake that people make in analyzing Reagan. They want to say it was the result of slick marketing and packaging and communication. They vote issues, and they loved Reagan's policies. And thankfully, not as many have been talked out of them as I had feared. But hey, Al, call back sometime when there's more time. I'd love to get into more detail because I love talking to people like you to find out what you actually think. So I'm glad you called. Thanks much.
Take pride in America. Unless we take pride in America's monuments and sites today, our nation's great heritage will be history.
Linda Evans talks about Take Pride in America, a grassroots nationwide effort to enhance and preserve our natural, cultural, and historic resources.
Respect for our history shouldn't be a thing of the past. That's why Boy Scout Troop 4 in Ann Arbor, along with the Great Lakes Lighthouse Association, adopted the St. Helene Light Station on Lake Michigan. Once scheduled for demolition, the restored 1873 light station is now an entry on the National Register of Historic Places. With a little effort, we all leave our future a past to take pride in.
For more information on how you can take pride in America, please call 1-800-US-PROUD.